far would you go to start a new life on the other side of the world? Especially if your other half doesn't share your dream. Like most of us, Debbie Wynn is sick of British winters.
It's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's dark, it's dull.
Saying she's determined to move to Australia is an understatement.
I've been a bit obsessive. There's no way round it, really.
But with husband Carl happy at home...
The heart tells me this is the place to be, and we're okay.
And finances refusing to add up.
It's with £2,764 per year worse off. Can we afford to buy this house?
Will Debbie's dream be dealt a knockout blow? Although Australia is the smallest, flattest continent in the world, it has more than 31,000 miles of coastline. So it's not surprising around 80% of Australians live within 40 miles of the beach, or to see why it's such a magnet for British families. Ahead of Debbie Wynn is just 1 week to convince husband Carl to give up everything he loves at home for a brand new life in Australia. After that, the family will have to make a massive decision, one that could change their lives forever, whether to stay in the UK or to start again down under. With a stopover in Singapore, the Wynn's journey to Australia begins with an arduous 22 hours in the air.
Everything went smoothly, all the transfers were great. On-board entertainment was good. Ella was a little star.
She was fantastic. We were expecting it to be quite difficult, tiring, hard work. It wasn't. It was brilliant. It really was. Really good flight. And we're here.
Yes, not to say we're not tired, though.
Deb is delighted to be on Australian soil. But what about Carl?
I'm quite excited to see what's out here, to be honest. It's going to be really interesting to see what life has to offer.
And what about you, Ella? Where do you want to live?
In Australia.
Ella's already on board, but now Debbie needs to get Carl to feel the same way. In the UK, Carl and Debbie Wynn live with Debbie's teenage son Jacob and the couple's 3-year-old daughter Ella in Wrexham, North Wales. The couple both work in education and the family enjoy a good standard of living. But for Debbie, life in the UK has one major drawback.
What we've got here is gorgeous. It's beautiful. But we can only enjoy it for I can only enjoy it for about 8 weeks a year. Because any time other than that, it's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's dark, it's dull.
And she's had enough of dressing up to keep British winters at bay.
November, December, January, February, I'm wearing 3 coats. Yeah. From the minute I wake up in the morning, if I'm at home, until I go to bed at night.
I think if she could hibernate, she probably would.
Debbie realised Australia could potentially offer her and her family a brighter future after spending 3 weeks bedridden with an illness.
The dream for me is the lifestyle that Australia has to offer. To start the day in the garden with the blue sunshine fills your soul with joy before you've even started. How can you not then pass that on through your day? And for Ella, for her to have her life in the sunshine, having the beach on the doorstep and being able to get out and about more.
Before long, Debbie was working furiously to turn her dream into a reality.
Well, the first thing she did when she got well was start sending off emails to people about the possibility of living there. It really has been pretty much a full-time second job for her.
And for the last 18 months, the talk in the household has been of nothing else.
I've been a bit obsessive. There's no way round it, really, and I know I've been obsessive.
There's a constant barrage of information about Australia, why it'd be better.
The more I've looked into it, the more and more I want it. I think that this really is a good move for us.
Unfortunately, Debbie's dream faces one huge hurdle. Carl doesn't share it. For him, leaving the UK would be a massive wrench. It would mean not only giving up the job he loves, but a packed life outside work too.
I really enjoy playing drums. I play with a band 2 bands. I also love doing shows for children. I do a mixture of Magic and Punch and Judy. The heart tells me this is the place to be, and we're okay. You know, we're fine as we are.
But for every argument Carl has for staying at home, Debbie has one for moving down under.
There's always a benefit, isn't it? It can always be turned into a positive towards Australia.
Oh, it can. Everything can be turned into a positive towards Australia.
Lots of thoughts go into this.
I'm very persuasive. It would be so much easier if you just said yes and just did it. It would be a lot less painful for everybody.
But Debbie's obsession is beginning to impact on the family.
It's wearing 18 months of Australia, Australia, Australia. It is very, very wearing.
It's wearing to be doing it as much as to be listening.
Sure.
It's not comfortable for either of us. I know it's been a difficult 18 months. Because I know in my heart, I just have to keep going.
Debbie's son Jacob is up for the move, but he's also feeling the tension the issue's now causing in the Wynn household.
My stepdad's looking at the other points about it, like not being able to not survive over there, but get jobs and meet families' needs and things like that. So, yeah, it's been quite hard where to step and things in the house.
The week ahead is Debbie's best shot at persuading Carl to share her dream once and for all.
I want Carl to enjoy it and long for it and want it as much as I do. I want there to be something out there for him as much as for me.
I haven't got the same passion, I don't share the same ideas. She deserves the chance to persuade me.
Debbie has just 1 week to convince Carl that making a new life in Australia is a journey the whole family should be making. For their first ever trip down under, the Wynns are visiting Australia's 3rd largest city, Brisbane, in the state of Queensland. Home for the week is a 4-bedroom property in Cleveland, a vibrant coastal village 15 miles southeast of the city centre. For Debbie, it's a first taste of Aussie-style living, and she likes what she sees.
Wow, look! That's our pool. We get to stay there for a whole week. Oh, look, so much how
The sun is as well.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And the enthusiasm continues inside.
The house would stop at halfway
I
then.
wasn't expecting it to be this size either.
It's definitely an open plan living thing, isn't it?
It is really family inclusive.
The outdoors is an extension of the indoors.
Even Carl's given a stamp of approval. The house has been a great start to the week, and Debbie hopes the next few days will make just as big a splash.
Really excited about this week. Really excited to see what we can, if we can do it, if as 2 teachers, as a family of 4, with what we've got, the age we are, if it's possible.
But Carl's staying practical.
It's very easy to walk into a place like this and think, yeah, I'd love to live here, and I suppose that's exactly what Debbie would do. But the reality's got to be there as well.
Back in the UK, home for the Wynns is a 4-bedroom detached house in Wrexham, North Wales. But when it comes to property down under, Debbie's in 2 minds as to what she's looking for.
I want to really downsize and spend as little as possible on the basics. So we've each got a room and we have got the private garden, and that within 10 minutes to a beach. But then partly I'm also drawn to, well, actually maybe to get what we would really like, the dream house, the big 4-bedroom, so there's room for everybody, that we can see a little bit of the sea from one of the windows, that there's a separate outdoor annex for parents and families to be able to come and stay completely independently, all those things. If it's just within reach, I should imagine I'll want that when I get there.
For Carl, any Australian home will need to have a space he can call his own.
My one stipulation would be I need a man cave, because at the end of the day, what's in the house, it's always Debbie's house, home, and then the things that don't live in the house, home, live in the man cave.
The Wynns would have between £275,000 and £300,000 to spend on a home down under. Today, we're going to give them an idea of what that might buy. We'll show them 3 properties based on what we know they need, what they think they want, and what they can actually afford. First port of call is Ormiston in the Redlands district. Clear sea views and tree-lined streets mean this quiet suburb offers the bayside living Debbie desires. But will this three-bedroom house be some place Carl can imagine calling home?
It's a nice little street, isn't it? It's really quiet.
Big space, isn't it?
Yes, nice.
Nice air conditioning as well.
Seems dark,
yeah,
but I think
it
that's
seems
probably
dark,
just
but it's
because
the
the
blinds,
blinds, they need the dark for the cool, possibly.
Debbie's looking on the bright side.
Wowee, a big space. A really big space. I wasn't expecting to see this big dining room space.
But you kept it.
Bright, it's fresh. Yeah, nice size kitchen.
It needs a bit of care and attention. But the space is here, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot really. It is only
Space is
very
here.
basic cosmetic. This is a good size too, because it looks so small from the front. And
It
compact.
does, doesn't it?
It is. Nice
Yes,
big bed.
reasonable size.
Huge storage space. And nice and bright.
As well as 3 bedrooms, a converted garage could be perfect for Carl.
Wow, a drum room for Daddy, Ella. What do you think?
Wow.
Big.
With
Oh,
I didn't even realise.
space. It's got more light than the garage at home.
It has. It's probably not as soundproof. And this could be a fabulous space.
The possible dwelling place of the man. Yeah.
Your man cave.
Yeah.
Man
It could
cave.
be a man cave.
Could be a
Hey,
man
it's a
cave.
very
Definitely
posh
could be a
man
man
cave.
cave.
It is,
Yeah.
definitely.
Carl can see the potential, and outside is something which should make Debbie smile.
It's a huge garden with a big space and an enormous, gorgeous pool. Look! This is the house cellar, the garden and the pool. It's huge. It's huge. We could have street parties in there. It's absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's lovely.
This house could be a perfect fit for the Wynns, but if it's not within their £275,000 to £300,000 budget, it could also be a wake-up call for Debbie.
Can we afford to buy this house? No, not really. Just, it would be a push.
It'd be a push.
It would be a
And
push.
And it's a case of is it worth the push?
This house had what Debbie and Carl wanted, but around £10,000 over budget, it looks like it could be a slight stretch for the Wynns. Debbie's dream home could be beyond her reach. Staying in the Almanston area, property number 2 is a modern bungalow, and with 4 bedrooms, 3 living areas and a double garage, it should offer all the space the Wynns could want.
Wow, it's got a lovely frontage, this house.
Big side
yeah.
room.
Officer?
Office, is that?
Yeah.
Nice. Master bedroom as well.
Now with the door on.
Oh, ensuite.
Oh, wow.
This is definitely my room.
This is how you imagine the layout to be, don't you? Come in the front door and to have a
Shower.
big shower
Big
room,
shower.
big bed, cupboard
Bathroom.
space, presumably that the toilet area or cupboard. Walk-in wardrobe. Wow, look! I could buy as
Definitely
many
a mummy room
clothes.
then.
There's a lot to like so far, but a typical feature of Aussie homes, wide eaves to protect the house from the sun, isn't going down well with Carl.
It is dark. It's one of the major factors of our house that you keep moaning about is the fact that it's so dark there. And I could see every lamp in the house being on constantly.
This isn't light, bright or airy, but it's very pretty from the outside. It's in a very nice area. Reserve, it's quiet.
It's a big enough space.
It's got merits,
Yeah,
it
definitely.
has.
Despite some redeeming features, it doesn't sound like this house is winning anyone over.
It's an all right sized bedroom.
This one seems a bit bigger
But it
than the
wouldn't-
other one. Then.
It wouldn't. My heart wouldn't be in the move from UK. I wouldn't move over for it with excitement in my heart and soul.
I'm disappointed with indoors.
Yeah,
The outdoor, looking at the house, the area, the whole package,
Yeah.
you'd expect something different from
You'd
indoors.
expect a wow factor inside, and it just hasn't got it.
It's got all the space they could need, but the dingy interior's a disappointment. Will it be within reach of their £275,000 to £300,000 budget?
Go on then, Ella.
Ella?
In day 3, let's see. Very expensive.
Do you know what? I thought it'd be more expensive than that.
I actually thought it would be more than that as well, because it's just such a lovely area location.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of space. It has got a lot of space. It's a big house.
It's just not the sort of space I think we want.
No, it doesn't do it for us.
It's got room to roam and a perfect location. But with an overhanging roof and an over-budget price, this isn't the house for the Wynns either. Properties so far aren't helping Debbie sell Carl her vision of a better life in Australia. 2 down, 1 to go. But will it be enough to convince Carl to move to the other side of the world? The family's final stop is just 30 minutes from Brisbane city centre in the sought-after area of Alexandra Hills. This 5-bedroom house promises spacious and modern interiors for buyers on a budget. So will it be enough to excite both Debbie and Carl?
Oh, this is a big room, isn't it? Oh. Wow, look, a bouncy castle too. Big open space. Nice family space.
Yeah, straight into it as well.
Yeah, good-sized kitchen. What do you think, Ellaboo?
It's gorgeous.
You like it, it's gorgeous.
Ella's impressed.
I think this is a master bedroom. Having a double bed.
I don't know, it's very small.
It is.
really small.
The room's small for the bed, put it that way.
It'd be okay for your room. It fits a double room or as a single bed.
The bedrooms might not be quite big enough, but what about the rest of the house?
Wow, I wasn't expecting this entire part of the house. Another lovely second family space, movie room, snug, second living room.
The outside as well.
So ensuite, double use ensuite.
So that one's bigger.
Yeah, big bright lights.
This is a big room,
Storage.
definitely.
Yeah, it's a nice master bedroom.
Yeah, and you've got the light coming in through the windows there.
So that's a lovely
You've got choice of
feature.
controlling it, haven't you? Can't.
And you're private again.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a fabulous space.
And there's more of that word yet again outside.
This is fantastic space. This is huge.
It is, isn't it?
Big space for a
Nice
pool.
garden.
While it doesn't have a pool, outside does offer something for Carl, and Deb is quick to spot potential.
This, Carl, is fantastic
That's
because it's a
huge.
must.
Yeah.
It could become a complete studio.
Yeah.
For drums, just a whole cave for you, really.
Yeah.
It's not a big loss if we don't have a pool. Of course, it's on the wish list, but also on the wish list is not killing ourselves financially. And so it's getting that balance, really, between being able to live and enjoy life, and we're so close to the bays here.
Deb is prepared to sacrifice a pool if it means this house is within reach. But is it?
What do you think, price-wise? It's got to be top hand,
I think it's-
if not way above.
Way above.
Way above.
But again, it would support everything. Family coming to visit.
It would, yeah.
And there's a growing,
It would.
family home.
More than enough space for everybody.
More than enough space. What do you think?
I think it's way over.
You ready?
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Under, yes, way under. That's amazing. I didn't expect it to be that
I'm
under.
really shocked.
Really surprised. That's brilliant. That's a really nice thing to know that we could get something on this scale.
Property's there if you're looking for it, isn't it? I think that's
Yeah.
what-
It's been a day of ups and downs. Property 1 had room for a Carl cave and a pool, but was out of reach financially. House number 2 had lots of space but dingy decor. But the last property turned things around. Big, bright and in a good area, it went down well with the whole family and was within reach financially. It's time to vote on Australian properties. Will Debbie's dream be one step closer, or will Carl believe home is where the heart is?
Based on the properties we've seen today, our vote goes to...
Australia.
Wow. Wow. Australia, you want to live in Australia, Ella? And you do?
My vote's a surprise to me as well, because I'm surprised we could afford anything remotely like what we've got. I'm not looking like for like either. I was looking more for what it would offer us in terms of property in this country, linked to lifestyle, Ella. So, yeah, I'm quite surprised myself.
This is a fantastic start. I genuinely didn't think that we'd get the Oz card so soon. So that's it's a fabulous start for the week, and it's a really good place to go from.
An early vote for Oz from Carl has given Debbie a glimmer of hope, but she knows that for him to give her dreams serious consideration, it will take much more than a nice house. Back in the UK, Carl earns around £40,000 as a teacher and advisor specialising in primary education. It's a job he'll find hard to leave behind.
I love my job. I get to work with lots of interesting people, a huge variety all the time. I can't really see how I'd get anything similar same. I must admit I don't know what's available in Australia yet.
Debbie's a part-time primary teacher earning around £20,000 and she'd be keen to do the same in Australia.
It's definitely the vocation. I joke about, you know, I'm happy to work anywhere as long as it's going to be sunshiny, but really I'm not at all.
If Deb is to realise her dream of spending her future in the sunshine, getting the right job for her and Carl in Oz will be crucial. To get an idea of their work prospects, they're visiting Sheldon College, a private school catering for children from 18 months to 17 years old, in the town of Carpalabar.
Hi Carl, I'm Michelle Lemon. Welcome to Australia and welcome to Sheldon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Carl meets college principal Dr. Lynn Bishop and is keen to hear about the school's philosophy.
In this school, it's always about how what we do with children has an immediate transference into the real world. So it's not just learning out of a textbook anymore. It's about how can I take the concept out of a textbook and apply that in a real world setting. It just makes education far more relevant, meaningful and wonderful for children.
Real life.
It's time to go again.
Carl likes what he's hearing. Deb is getting a tour from Michelle, the school's Director of Early Learning, and it turns out Aussie-style education could offer her a fringe benefit.
There's indoor-outdoor space time. So basically what happens in the initial part of the day, we work predominantly towards the climate. So if it's the summer months, we come outside first up.
Teaching in the sun isn't something Debbie gets much of at home, and she's impressed by the school's teaching style.
I could see myself teaching here. Quite simply, it's got so many elements, so much scope. I think I could find a place here.
Carl's always felt moving to Australia would be too big a gamble. Would an Australian teacher's salary help lessen the risk?
How much would a teacher in Australia be realistically expected to earn?
It would depend what year level you are. If you're coming out as a beginning teacher, you'd be on around $53,000 to $54,000 a year. When you get to the top of your pay scale, you'd be looking at about $86,000, $87,000. But then you have the opportunity to go into promotional bands. And the promotional bands will take you up in the 90s, 100,000 plus.
In spite of his experience, Carl worries at what level he'd be able to enter Australian teaching.
As a teacher coming in on a relatively high on the pay scale at the moment, how long would it take me to slot into something like that? Would I start at the bottom or...?
No, you'd be able to show experience that you've had elsewhere and you would be credited with that and then you'd be put on a level and a band. Right. And then your salary would be commensurate with where you are in terms of your experience.
It's far from clear-cut for Carl. He'd have to be able to prove his teaching experience to get a salary he'd be happy with. And even then, there could be another hurdle to overcome.
What's the demand for jobs like?
We seem to have a lot of people who've been trained that aren't necessarily employed at this stage. And it's really a buyer's market, you might say.
It sounds like securing a job may not be easy. Debbie wants to understand more about how her qualifications would transfer.
I actually did a 3-year BA teaching degree, which I understand isn't enough for me to actually be qualified straight away to teach here. Do you know what I'd have to do in order to top up that qualification?
Your first step would be to apply for a recognition of your qualification. Sometimes, depending on the sector that you would like to work in, they will actually take that degree. But for example, in the early years, in the childcare setting or in the kindergarten years, you can actually look at that as a starting point. And then you would have to retrain to be able to teach above the preparatory years.
Extra training could mean a delay before Debbie started work. While Aussie-style education has appealed to both Debbie and Carl, getting a job may not be straightforward for either of them. So when it comes to work, is Debbie's dream still on track?
Based on the information that we've received today, our vote goes to...
UK.
I'm not sure.
Why aren't you sure?
What we saw, the place we've been, has just been fantastic. An awful lot of opportunities. But the process of us getting there, especially with me having a 3-year degree, is going to be a very difficult road.
I'd also have to fight for my salary if you know what I mean, for my level of pay. I'd have to go through a process of justifying where I am on the pay scale, experience, etc. to get, otherwise I'll start to the start as well.
So as a family, that would be a big
as a family,
financial
it would be
hit.
a big hit.
This isn't the end of the dream for us, because there are ways round everything. There will be a solution, there will be a pathway. We just need to keep going forward, really, and to keep looking, keep searching, because the rest of the dream for me is still a dream.
It looks like Debbie's dream of a new life in Australia could be in real trouble. But she's not giving up that easily. She's hoping a taste of the Aussie lifestyle will be enough to get her husband back on side. Today, the family are heading to Redcliffe to experience the annual Seaside Carnival. With sand, sea and sunshine, it's everything Debbie wants. But will their day out be enough to persuade Carl Australia is where the family should be? It turns out there's a big surprise in store for him.
I know Mr Punch has made it to Australia because I've googled him, but I wasn't expecting to see it. Timing's good.
It might be child's play, but a packed audience has Carl entertaining some serious possibilities. When the curtain comes down on the show, he takes the opportunity to quiz puppeteer Julia Baker, herself an expat.
There is definitely a big market here for children's entertainment, and people will pay. Birthday parties are huge.
Are they?
Really?
Yes, yes, and they pay good.
Different rings for 3-year-olds.
Sustain as a full-time profession.
Full-time, if you market yourself, if that's, it would all be weekend work.
Yeah.
Punch and Judy's, I mean, another big market over here is childcare centres. I mean, the money's good, but you will have to market yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's just going to come knocking on your door.
I really enjoyed it, even as an 18-year-old who's like seen the show loads of times before, with Carl doing it and things like that. I still the fact that they changed it.
If we were to come over, it would definitely be something I want to explore anyway. So it's put a definite sunny side on the question.
Things could be on the up for Debbie. A short stroll to the beach is a chance for her to reflect on the week so far.
It's been quite an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, this week. One minute I'm thinking, oh yes, we can do this, it's possible, the dream is a reality, we can make this work. And then the next minute I'm thinking, oh, do you know what, am I in fantasy land? Are we really going to be able to make this work?
Despite her fears, Deb is still determined a life down under's worth fighting for.
Australia itself is beyond paradise. It is the dream. It's beyond my dream. And so every obstacle we encounter, we'll find a solution. In my mind, in my world, we'll find a way around it.
While Jacob's enjoyed the day out,
I'm really happy today. I enjoyed the lifestyle, just how he can just come out here and enjoy the beach and the sea.
Debbie knows it's not him she needs to convince.
To be honest, I'm still worried with Carl. I still don't know which way he's going to take it. I really don't know which way he's going to go. Because he is happy at home. We're all happy at home, but this is bigger than that. It's about the future.
Sampling the Aussie lifestyle has given Carl an appreciation of what the country could offer the family.
I can't argue with what's on offer. It's all here. There's enough stuff to keep everybody happy. It's a great environment for everyone. You know, everyone's enjoying themselves, everyone's having a great time.
But the practical issues behind a move are still weighing on his mind.
I really don't like the idea of just jumping into something to make everybody happy and then finding out that the struggle's going to be long-term or an uphill struggle. It's going to take a long time. It's the heart that needs changing, really, at the end of the day.
So when it comes to the vote, will Carl have been persuaded by the lifestyle Australia can offer?
Based on our day at the beach today, our vote goes to... Australia!
Australia! All of us? 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Come on then, Carl, what convinced you?
Based on today, it's lifestyle, opportunity. You three are obviously really happy with it. I can see the possibilities.
For Ella.
For everybody.
The vote for me today was easy peasy. This is what it's all about. This is what the last 18 months of research has been about, the last 18 months of arguments has been about. This is what I'm fighting for myself, for my family, for my grandchildren.
With Carl's second vote for Australia, Debbie's dream lives another day. But he's always been concerned a move is just too big a gamble, so getting the finances to add up will be key. The Wynns believe their house back in the UK is worth around £220,000, but would two local estate agents agree?
Okay, nice and bright, open plan. Stairs in the lounge is a little bit of a negative. Families, it's 50-50 whether they would like that or not. Okay, sitting room, excellent use of the extension, really nice room.
Looks quite nice, doesn't it?
Once again, nice, spacious room, good family space.
Quite dark though.
It does look dark.
Kitchen, a little bit dated, but still quite practical. Really nice garden.
Thank goodness for that.
Quite private. Excellent.
White bathroom suite, little tied around the edges. This will probably need replacing.
Master bedroom, spacious and bright, not overlooked from the front. Nice room. Overall, this is a good sized family home with a little bit more expenditure. It could be even better. In the current market, I would value this house at £190,000, and for a quick sale, I would say £175,000.
No.
That's low.
My current valuation of this property is £195,000, and for a quick sale, £180,000.
That was low. So, where would that leave us?
Well, that coupled with potential lack of earnings, that's a big factor because there's even less there. You know, you're relying on collateral from the house.
Their house has been valued at £30,000 less than the couple were expecting. It's all Debbie's wanted for the last 18 months, but whether she could afford the move is now in serious doubt. To help them see if the figures could work, we've put together a comparison of living costs in the UK and Australia. First up is the Wynn's weekly food shop.
And butter, right, 360, well, we know it's 162 minus...
Minus 167.
6,
You move your finger down.
Sorry,
it.
milk. Not that much
16.
expensive, is it? It's
No.
still expensive, but...
It's still more expensive.
So, naught.
It's a good job we're not big eaters.
6. Can't afford to eat
Yeah.
it. Free range eggs.
Right, 306.
306 minus
Right.
168.
138.
138, so it's double.
Despite their small appetites, the Wynn's weekly food shop is still £63 more expensive down under.
That's difficult, isn't it? With the, not knowing how much can come in anyway, you can't not eat, can you?
No.
You know, when you look £63.11 a week, it doesn't sound that bad, does it? But when you put in a monthly thing, and you obviously you get paid monthly, and it all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But £252
over
a
a
month.
year.
With less equity from their house in the UK, even if the Wynns were to buy the cheapest property they saw, their mortgage repayments in Australia would double. But Debbie planned to work full-time down under. Would that tip the scales in her favour?
The difference in wages was 16,000.
Take away 16,681.
681.
Which means we're £2,764 worse off per year.
Pounds
Pounds
worse off.
financially. Okay, £2,000, nearly 3,000 a year. That's nominal, really. I mean, it's disappointing, it's minus. But on an annual salary, it's the summer holiday. It's less than the summer holiday that we don't need to buy because we've got sunshine all the year round.
You still got to survive.
I know,
That's on the
but-
basics. You're not talking summer holiday, you're not talking savings, you're not talking anything on there. That's purely day-to-day living.
Once more, Debbie's trying to stay optimistic, but the figures have confirmed Carl's fears.
Based on the finances, our vote goes to... UK.
In the middle. UK, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Just too much uncertainty. It's not, remember, it's based on the basics, isn't it?
It is more expensive and it will be more of a challenge to balance the budget, but I think we can do it. I think for the gains It was only a little bit more expensive, and we won't be spending every season on new outfits and new coats and new boots because we just need flip-flops, hats and shorts. So I think it would be cheaper to live here once we got here and worked it out. So yeah, I'm in the middle.
She may be willing to make sacrifices on the fashion front, but Debbie, Carl and Jacob face another hurdle before they decide once and for all where their future lies. As Ella's looked after by a childminder, the rest of the family sit down to watch messages from home.
OK, you ready for this? You sure?
Definitely.
OK,
Yeah, I think
let's
so.
give it a go and see how it goes.
Oh, my heart's in my mouth.
Hi guys, hope you're having a wonderful time out there.
Hello everybody, hope you're having a wonderful time.
Hi guys, hope all is well, hope you're having a fab time in Australia.
Debbie, what can I say? She's an absolute wonderful daughter. She's my best friend and we've always been very, very close. Always there for each other.
Carl is such a clever guy.
Always loved
That
it,
man,
yeah.
that man, I mean, he amazes me.
He's like a son to us.
Yeah, and he's like a brother to our
We've
children.
only got to get on the telephone and say, Carl, we've got a problem, and he'll be here.
Jacob, he's turned out to be a super lad.
Yes, he's very, very loving child.
Yeah.
He's had a really good upbringing.
Yeah.
We'll undoubtedly miss all of them. Jake and Ella and Debbie and Carl.
Yeah.
Of course we will.
Yeah.
They've been part of, well, Carl's been part of our lives for the best part of 30 years. And we've had Debbie and Jake and Ella.
Jake's lovely.
Yeah,
I love Jake.
Well, I would miss them. I know that they're there now, and although we don't see as much of each other as I would like, I would miss them very much.
I am the one that's going to miss them the most. I am the one that's in their lives the most, especially Debbie and Ella. And it is going to be heartbreaking. It really will be heartbreaking. Us having to be apart, but they will do it with my blessing.
If you did decide to move to Australia, I'd miss you a lot, but would be very supportive of your decision and would wish you all the best on your adventure.
I hope that when you've done the trip to Brisbane, that you find it everything you wish for, and that the Australian lifestyle is what you really want. But if you decide it's not for you, then we will welcome you back into our lives, as we've always done.
Whatever you decide, you know, I will back you up all the way. It's what I want for all of you, to follow your hearts and to be happy. And yes, it's going to be absolutely awful when you go, if you do decide to go, but we will overcome all that because we just want what's right for the four of you.
We miss you now, and we will miss you if you decide to stay there. But we'd both like to thank you for your help, love and consideration you've given us over the past 27 years. Take care of yourselves and live the life.
That's hard, isn't that hard? That's hard, because it's always been the family. That's what life is all about, that's what living is all about, and that's been the motto for 36 years in my world. That there's no point in having sunshine if you've got nobody to share it with.
Seeing messages from loved ones back home has knocked the family for six. Moving to Australia has been all Debbie's talked about for the past 18 months. But while the last week has shown the Wynns what they stand to gain, it's also revealed everything they'd lose. Now it's time to decide where their future lies.
Without the dog.
The family's week in Brisbane has given them a real insight into the kind of life they could be living down under. Although the local property market didn't instantly blow them away, they did eventually find a house the whole family loved.
What do you think, Kelaboo?
It's gorgeous.
Discovering the ideal job might be harder to come by didn't help Carl's reservations about the move.
What's the demand for jobs like?
It's really a buyer's market, you might say.
But for Debbie, the chance to see her children experience the Australian lifestyle chased away any concerns.
Australia itself is beyond paradise. It is the dream.
I'm really happy today. I enjoyed the lifestyle.
Until the real cost of living in Australia dealt a devastating blow.
You're not talking summer holiday, you're not talking savings, you're not talking anything on there. That's purely day-to-day living.
For Debbie, Australia's been everything she was hoping for.
Australia is more than I thought it was going to be. It exceeds the dream.
And the last week has been her best shot at persuading Carl the country could offer the whole family a better future.
I know I've persuaded Jacob and I know I've persuaded Ella. They weren't going to take much persuading anyway, really. Carl, I'm not sure if I've persuaded Carl or not, really, because I've spent 18 months telling him of all the wonderful things Australia has to offer. But his heart needs to be in it too, and he's got more family to leave behind, and so he's finding it a lot more difficult. So I'm not sure.
Carl knows just how much Debbie's dream means to her.
Debbie was over the moon because it's everything she's ever wanted, but to see me sort of excited by some of the possibilities there would be by the move, I think she's got her hopes up.
While Jacob could always see the benefits of a move,
I hope that we'll all get to come out here together and enjoy this lifestyle.
Carl's all too aware of what he would have to leave behind in the UK.
I'm torn, I must admit I'm torn. There's something strong holding me back, but I am torn because I've seen a lot of positives from being out here. So never say never.
For Debbie, the moment of truth has finally arrived. Has she done enough to convince her husband to move their family to the other side of the world? Everything rests on their final decision as the family choose between a future in the UK or Australia.
After the week we've had in Australia, our vote today goes to... Australia! Okay, well, 2 out of 3. What about you, Jake? You loved it?
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing.
And UK, Debbie?
Yeah,
a bit
predictably, I
disappointing.
think. I wanted to go flat on, I think. Still, there's lots of possibilities. Still got reservations over the menu and the friends and family.
Okay, well, for me, I've still got reservations as well, but the benefits far outweigh the uncertainties, and I just feel, as a family, we've got the skills we need to make it work, so Australia it is.
Despite Debbie's very best efforts, it looks like she still has some way to go to persuade Carl that a life down under is a dream worth chasing. Wherever their future lies, we wish the family the very best of luck.
Sunshine and murder tonight on BBC One when we head for the island of St Marie. A new case for that new D.I. Goodman and the old team when Death in Paradise continues at 9 on BBC One. Inside the property auctions next for Homes Under the Hammer.
How far would you go to start a new life on the other side of the world? Especially if your other half doesn't share your dream. Like most of us, Debbie Wynn is sick of British winters.
It's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's dark, it's dull.
Saying she's determined to move to Australia is an understatement.
I've been a bit obsessive. There's no way round it, really.
But with husband Carl happy at home...
The heart tells me this is the place to be, and we're okay.
And finances refusing to add up.
It's with £2,764 per year. Worse off. Can we afford to buy this house?
Will Debbie's dream be dealt a knockout blow? Although Australia is the smallest, flattest continent in the world, it has more than 31,000 miles of coastline. So it's not surprising around 80% of Australians live within 40 miles of the beach, or to see why it's such a magnet for British families.
Ahead of Debbie Wynn is just 1 week to convince husband Carl to give up everything he loves at home for a brand new life in Australia. After that, the family will have to make a massive decision, one that could change their lives forever, whether to stay in the UK or to start again down under.
With a stopover in Singapore, the Wynn's journey to Australia begins with an arduous 22 hours in the air.
Everything went smoothly, all the transfers were great. On-board entertainment was good. Ella was a little star.
She was fantastic. We were expecting it to be quite difficult, tiring, hard work. It wasn't. It was brilliant. Really was. Really good flight. And we're here.
Yes, not to say we're not tired, though.
Deb is delighted to be on Australian soil. But what about Carl?
I'm quite excited to see what's out here, to be honest. It's going to be really interesting to see what life has to offer.
And what about you, Ella? Where do you want to live?
In Australia.
Ella's already on board, but now Debbie needs to get Carl to feel the same way. In the UK, Carl and Debbie Wynn live with Debbie's teenage son Jacob and the couple's 3-year-old daughter Ella in Wrexham, North Wales. The couple both work in education and the family enjoy a good standard of living. But for Debbie, life in the UK has one major drawback.
What we've got here is gorgeous, it's beautiful. But we can only enjoy it for I can only enjoy it for about 8 weeks a year. Because any time other than that, it's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's dark, it's dull.
And she's had enough of dressing up to keep British winters at bay.
November, December, January, February, I'm wearing 3 coats. Yeah. From the minute I wake up in the morning, if I'm at home, until I go to bed at night.
I think if she could hibernate, she probably would.
Debbie realised Australia could potentially offer her and her family a brighter future after spending 3 weeks bedridden with an illness.
The dream for me is the lifestyle that Australia has to offer. To start the day in the garden with the blue sunshine fills your soul with joy before you've even started. How can you not then pass that on through your day? And for Ella, for her to have her life in the sunshine, having the beach on the doorstep and being able to get out and about more.
Before long, Debbie was working furiously to turn her dream into a reality.
Well, the first thing she did when she got well was start sending off emails to people